Hello and welcome to Wellbeing Café. Thank you so much for joining. Today we'll focus on the neck, shoulders, back, and hips. We have a special friend joining us for class. His name is Jasper, and he is a rescue dog adopted from National Mill Dog Rescue. Currently, Jasper is working on getting more comfortable in unfamiliar environments, so during our class you may see him pop in and out of the video as he gets more comfortable with the space. For today's class, you may want to have 2 blocks and something to pad your knees, maybe a blanket or bolster. But know that if you do not have any of these props, that is also perfectly alright. Find a comfortable seated position, nice tall spine, and close down the eyes. Deepen your breath. Notice the quality of the air entering your lungs and leaving. The air comes in cold and leaves warm. As you breathe in, feel the expansion of your body. And as you exhale, feel as it releases. We'll start off with lunar breath. An option to keep the eyes closed here or to blink them open. For this breath, we will breathe in through the left nostril and exhale through the right, and continue in that same cycle. We'll take one clearing breath together before we get started. Deep inhale and exhale. Using your thumb, seal off your right nostril and inhale through the left. Hold at the top. Seal off the left nostril with your pinky. Exhale through the right. Hold at the bottom, seal off the right nostril with your thumb. Inhale. Hold at the top, pinky to left nostril, exhale. Continue in this cycle for 3 more rounds at your own pace. Once you complete your 3rd round of lunar breath, take one deep inhale into both nostrils and exhale. If your eyes are closed, gently blink them open and make your way into tabletop position. And once you arrive, send the knees out wide. Allow the big toes to touch. We'll start with a variation of closed wing pose. Plant the right hand on the ground and thread the left arm underneath the right shoulder. The left ear comes to the ground, or it can rest on top of a block or other structure that can help support your neck. The right hand can go right by your shoulder, can go out in front of you, or you can come into a half bind with the right hand reaching for the left hip crease. Allow the shoulders to open up and breathe deeply here. You may feel an opening in between the shoulder blades, maybe in the hips as well. You may feel an additional sensation in the side of the shoulder if you are in the half bind. An additional option here to come all the way down to the belly, come into closed wing by threading the right arm right in front of the left shoulder. Walking the elbows under your body for just a moment as you send the legs out long and lower all the way to your belly. The forehead can rest on a block here. You may need to bring it up to a higher height. In whichever variation that you choose, allow your body to relax completely, but allow the sensations to become intense. We want the sensations to be intense but never painful. So know that if the position does ever get painful, you can gently lift out, return blood flow to your arms, and come into a different expression, a different variation of this posture, or something else that would suit your body better today. Prepare your body to move from the pose. If you are in the child's pose variation of closed wing pose, inhale deeply and exhale. Release the right arm if you are in the half bind. Set the hand on the ground. Press into the palm and lift the left arm towards the sky. Once you arrive here, draw circles with the wrist and the arm for 3 more breaths. If you are on your belly, gently lift the head and the chest up and walk your elbows underneath your shoulders. Break away the forearms and slowly make your way back to tabletop position. Plant the left hand on the ground. Inhale, right arm towards the sky. Exhale, thread the right arm underneath the left shoulder. Lower your right ear towards the ground. The head can rest on top of a block if that feels better to you. And the left hand can come into any variation that you would like. You can reach the left hand towards the top of the mat. You can come into a half bind with the left hand reaching for the right hip crease. Open up through the shoulders. Feel the release in the lower back. If you'd like to come into closed wing on the belly, bring your left arm in front of your right shoulder. Slowly lift up as we transition onto the belly. Move the weight into the elbows and walk the legs out long. Lower down to your belly. Send your left arm out and your right arm out as well. Lower your head down to a block if that feels good to you. Feel the release in between your shoulder blades. And if you're in the child's pose variation, a release in the hips as well, maybe the lower back. Prepare your body to move from the pose. If you are in the child's pose variation, deep inhale. Exhale, unwind the left arm if you were in the bind, and bring the left hand to the ground. Shift the weight into your left palm as you slowly lift up, and the right arm reaches towards the sky. Draw circles with the wrist and the shoulder. Allow the movement to be intuitive and effortless. 3 more breaths of movement here. If you are in closed wing pose, gently lift your chest up and walk your elbows underneath your shoulders. Slowly lift the hips up and walk your knees underneath the hip points. Lift up into tabletop position. For our next pose, bring the big toes to touch and the knees out wide. Gently lower the hips towards the heels and walk the hands forward. Find length in the spine. The head can rest on top of a block. The chest can rest on a pillow as well if you have one. And it may feel nice to place a blanket underneath the knees. Feel the opening in your shoulders and the lengthening in the lower back. An option to stay here in child's pose or to press into the hands, lift up, walk the knees underneath the hips, and crawl the hands forward while lowering the chest for puppy pose. In puppy pose, the sits bones shine towards the ceiling. The tops of the feet connect with the ground, and the hands walk forward to find length. If you have a pillow here, it may feel nice to place it underneath your chest. Wherever you are, invite ocean breath, a calming and audible breath that allows us to relax deeper into the poses. If you know how to do ocean breath, go ahead and begin, or else I will lead you through. Inhale deeply. Open mouth, exhale as if you are fogging up a mirror. One more time, inhale. Open mouth, exhale. In the next round, you will create the same sound, but seal off your lips. Inhale deeply. Lips are closed. Exhale audibly. One more time. Inhale deeply, seal the lips. Exhale audibly. Send this breath to the tight areas of your body and allow them to release. Prepare your body to move from the pose. If you are in puppy pose, press into the palms, lift the belly up, move the chest forward, walk the hands back underneath your body, walk the knees forward and send them out wide. Lower down to child's pose for just a moment. Slowly lift up into tabletop. Bring the knees back underneath your hips and move through any movements that feel good. Maybe tucking the toes under, going through cat-cow movements by lowering the belly and then lifting it up. It may feel nice to straighten out one leg and then the other. Make your way onto your glutes. Allow the knees to fall right and then left, just 2 times. Find center. Come into tabletop position when you're ready. Walk the right knee forward into the center of your mat. Lift up the left leg and cross it to the right side of your right calf. Create space between the heels and slowly lower your glutes down to the ground. You can also place a block or bolster underneath the hips here to create more space. If full shoelace does not feel good in your body, an additional option to come into half shoelace by sending the left leg out long. Check in with how your knees and ankles feel in both of these positions. Watch out for sickling in the ankles, because this can cause damage over time to the ankles themselves. Notice the sensations in your knees, and if they ever become very strange or painful, go ahead and lift out of shoelace pose and come into broken shoelace with one shin in front of the other. The knees can remain as high as they need to, with an additional option to place blocks underneath the knees. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold over top of your knees. The chest can rest on top of them. Or if you have a blanket or bolster, or even a block, you can place the block in between your chest and thighs. Allow your body to release here. Notice where you feel the sensations and the quality of those sensations. Inhale deeply. Exhale, keep the legs exactly where they are and lift the chest up. Inhale, lengthen through the torso. Exhale, left ear over left shoulder. You can stay here if this feels good, or you can take the left hand to the right side of the head and simply allow the hand to rest here without pressing or pushing. The right hand can either rest on your thigh, the ground, or you can lift it up on a block to increase the intensity of the stretch. Turn the right palm towards the sky. Inhale deeply. Exhale, slowly release the left hand from the top of the head and bring the head back through center. Release the right hand to the ground. Draw gentle circles with the neck here. And when you're ready, bring both soles of the feet to the ground, maybe using your hands for support, and windshield wiper them left and right. And whenever you're ready, make your way into tabletop position. Bring the left knee towards the center of the mat. Bring the right knee to the opposite side of the left calf. Create space between the heels and lower the hips towards the ground or block. Notice how your knees feel here. If they don't feel very good in the full shoelace variation, go ahead and send your right leg out long. Just make sure that you keep a micro bend in the knee to prevent hyperextension. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold over top of the knees. Allow your body to relax here, and the head to become heavy. Deep inhale. Exhale, slowly lift up. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, right ear over right shoulder. The hands can stay exactly where they are, or you can bring the right hand to the left side of the head. The left hand can stay exactly where it's at, or you can set it on top of a block. And to intensify even more, you can flip the left palm towards the ceiling and allow it to rest here. Deep inhale. Exhale, slowly release the head. Right hand lowers to the ground. Draw circles with the neck here. In one direction and then the other. And when you're ready, use your hands to gently lift your legs off of one another and place the soles of the feet on the ground. Set the hands behind you for support and windshield wiper side to side. For our next pose, we have two options. The first is Sphinx and the second one is supported fish. If you do not have any props on you, then follow me into Sphinx pose. Slowly lower down onto your belly, send the legs out long. And bring the elbows underneath the shoulders. Lift the chest up. The palms can come to touch together here or reach for opposite elbow to make this less of a dynamic pose. To decrease the intensity of this stretch, you can bring the elbows out slightly wider so that the back bend is less. The second option is to come into supported fish. Place one block in the center of your mat at one of the ends, then place the other one perpendicular to that block. And as you're ready, slowly lower your shoulders on top of the block and allow the head to fall backwards. This can be pretty intense on the neck, so make sure to check in with how your neck is feeling here. It will be additionally supportive if you place the pillow on top of the block. From here, the legs can stay bent. You can straighten them out, or you can bring the soles of the feet together for butterfly pose, for an additional opening in the hips. The hands can either rest on top of the thighs or come out to the sides for additional shoulder opening. You may feel stress in the neck and upper back area, an opening in the shoulders, a broadening in the chest, and the opening in the hips as well if you are in the butterfly variation. Prepare your body to move from this pose. Deep inhale and exhale. If you are in Sphinx pose, bring the hands out in line with the elbows and slowly lift the elbows out wide. Lower the forehead to the mat. Shift the hips from side to side to release tension from the lower back. An option to additionally windshield wiper the legs side to side. When you're ready, slowly lift up into a seated position. If you are in the butterfly variation of fish pose, Gently draw your knees together using the support of your hands. Bring the soles of the feet to the ground and gently lift the head up. As you walk the elbows underneath your shoulders and lift into a seated position. Take any movements that feel good here. Maybe windshield wiping the knees. Maybe bringing the forehead to the tops of the knees for a nice counter pose. Find a static tabletop position. Bring the knees together. Lower the hips towards the heels and sweep the hands behind you. Lower your chest towards the ground. The tops of the hands rest on the mat. The forehead can also rest on the mat, or it can come up on a block or blanket. Stay here if this feels good, or follow me into rabbit pose. Lift the hips up into the sky. Your hands reach for your heels. The top of the head touches the ground. And create space in the back line of the body. Make sure that there is no weight in the top of the head and that the weight is primarily in your knees. Breathe into the back line of your body. As you inhale, feel expansion, and as you exhale, feel release. Prepare your body to move from the pose. Deep inhale. Exhale, slowly lower your hips towards your heels if you are in rabbit pose. Once you arrive in child's pose, slowly lift the chest up. And take any movements that feel good. Maybe circling out through the wrist. We're coming into some seated cat-cows here. Circling through the shoulders. 3 more breaths of movement here. Slowly lower down to your back. Hug the knees into the chest and rock side to side. Send the left leg out long. Scoot the hips slightly to the right and allow the right knee to fall over to the left side. You may need to shift the hips a little more and also shift the shoulders slightly left so that both shoulder blades touch the ground. Extend the right arm out long and allow the right knee to fall towards the floor. We won't be here for too long. We're just neutralizing out the spine before we come into our final resting pose. Allow this to feel good with no need to reach an edge. Deep inhale. Exhale, slowly return to your back. Hug your right knee into your chest. And then send it out long. You may want to scoot your hips back into center here. Hug the left knee into the chest. Scoot the hips slightly to the left. Lower the left knee over to the right side. And shift your hips and shoulders so that both shoulders touch the ground. The left hand can extend out long or cactus out to the side. And breathe here. Allow it to feel good. Deep inhale. Exhale, unwind. Return to center. Hug both knees into the chest. Rock side to side one more time. Before we come into our final resting pose, I'd just like to say thank you so much for joining. We come out with new classes each and every week. If you like this class, please subscribe, like, leave a comment, and let me know how this went for you. And with that, we'll continue on. Give yourself one last hug. Squeeze the knees into the chest. The head can lift up. One more squeeze. Send your legs out long. And bring one hand to the heart and one hand to the belly. Allow yourself to release here. Breathe into your entire body. Feel it expand. And then release. In this moment, simply allow yourself to be. And I will call you out when it's time. Stay here in Savasana for as long as you would like. You can pause the video here if you would like to continue on. Otherwise, invite gentle movements into the fingers and toes. Circle out through the wrists and ankles. Stretch the arms out overhead as you point and flex the toes. Bend through one knee and then the other, and slowly make your way to one side. Rest here for just a moment. And when you're ready, slowly lift up into a comfortable seated position. The eyes can remain heavy here. Inhale, arms reach overhead, palms come to touch. Exhale, lower thumbs to third eye center. Loka samasta, sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere find peace and happiness. And might my words, thoughts, and actions create a space of peace and happiness for others. Bow towards one another to close off the practice. And as you're ready, slowly lift up and blink open the eyes to take in the space around you. Thank you so much for joining for our practice today. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.